Hi everyone, welcome to the Story Times. Thanks for joining us. Today we've got a brand new story to share with you. So let's begin. The day Kayla left me, she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "You'll always love me, James, no matter what happens. I know you'll be waiting for me." I still remember the smirk on her face, the way she said it like it was a fact, like she had me wrapped around her little finger. She thought I was just some lovesick fool who would sit around, miserable, waiting for her to realize she had made a mistake. She was wrong, because when she finally did come back, thinking she could pick up where we left off, she walked straight into my engagement party. And the woman on my arm? Her younger sister, Sophia. But let's back up a little. Let me tell you exactly how we got here. Kayla and I had been together for 5 years. 5 years of love, support, and what I thought was a solid future. I was ready to propose. I had the ring picked out, a whole romantic setup planned, the works. But before I could do any of that, she sat me down and blindsided me with the last thing I ever expected to hear. I feel like I'm missing out, James. I love you, but I need to see what else is out there. See what else is out there. That was how she ended it. Like I was just a phase, something temporary until she figured out what she really wanted. I was devastated. She packed her bags, moved out, and within weeks, I saw her all over social media. Fancy restaurants, tropical vacations, dating guys who had more money than I did at the time. It was clear she was chasing some fantasy of an exciting, glamorous life. And me? I was just the stable, dependable guy she had outgrown. First, I was broken. But then I got angry. Kayla assumed I would sit around waiting for her to wake up and come running back. That I would just be there, ready to take her back whenever she was done exploring. So I made a decision. I wasn't going to wait. I wasn't going to be the guy she looked down on. The guy she thought would always be her backup plan. I was going to become someone she could never have again. I poured myself into my work. Every ounce of pain, every bit of heartbreak, I turned into fuel. I built my career, made smart investments, and within a few years, I wasn't just successful, I was thriving. I had more money than I knew what to do with, a lifestyle that most people could only dream of. More importantly, I had completely moved on from Kayla. Or at least, I thought I had. Because then, out of nowhere, she came back. And she was in for the biggest shock of her life. For years, I heard nothing from Kayla. Not a single call, not a message, nothing. And honestly, that was fine with me. I had rebuilt myself. I wasn't the same guy she left behind. The guy who once thought she was the one. While she had been off chasing some fantasy, hopping from one guy to the next, I had turned my life around. I wasn't just successful, I was powerful. And I had something far more valuable than money or success. I had Sophia. Now, let me make one thing clear. Getting involved with Kayla's younger sister wasn't planned. I never set out to date her as some sort of twisted revenge. It just happened. Sophia had always been around, of course. Back when Kayla and I were together, she was just her little sister. The quiet, thoughtful one who stayed out of the spotlight while Kayla basked in attention. She was kind, down to earth, and completely different from her older sister in every way. We ran into each other by chance, about 2 years after Kayla left. At the time, Sophia was finishing up her degree, working part-time at an art gallery, and I was in the middle of expanding my business. We grabbed coffee, caught up, and something just clicked. She wasn't like Kayla. She didn't care about luxury or status. She actually listened when I spoke, cared about my dreams, supported me. And slowly, without even realizing it, I fell for her. We kept things quiet at first. We didn't want drama, and honestly, neither of us thought Kayla would even care. She had made it very clear that she had outgrown me, that I was just a phase she needed to move past. So why would it matter who I ended up with? But then, out of nowhere, Kayla came back. It happened on a regular Friday evening. Sophia and I had just arrived at a high-end restaurant, one of those places where you needed a reservation weeks in advance. I pulled out her chair. She smiled at me, and as I sat down across from her, I heard her voice. "James." I looked up, and there she was. Kayla. For a moment, she just stared at me, like she couldn't believe what she was seeing. She was still beautiful, but there was something different about her now. She looked tired. The glow she used to have, the effortless confidence, was gone. Then her eyes shifted to Sophia, her younger sister, sitting across from me, smiling, holding my hand. Kayla's face dropped. What is this?" she asked, her voice uneven. Sophia, calm as ever, gave her a polite smile. "It's called a dinner date, Kayla. Something couples do. Kayla's jaw tightened. You're joking. I leaned back in my chair, watching her. No joke. She blinked, completely thrown off. This wasn't what she expected. She had come here thinking she could just waltz back into my life. That I'd still be there, waiting. But she was too late. And she was about to find out just how much had changed. For a moment, Kayla just stood there, staring at us like she couldn't believe what she was seeing. Like her brain was refusing to process the reality in front of her. I could see the emotions flickering across her face. Shock, confusion, and then, slowly, something else. Something closer to anger. Sophia, calm as ever, sipped her wine and glanced up at her sister. Kayla, are you just going to stand there all night? Or are you going to say something? Kayla's gaze snapped to her, eyes narrowing. This isn't funny, Sophia. Sophia tilted her head. Who's laughing? I fought the urge to smirk. One thing I had always admired about Sophia was how effortlessly composed she was. She wasn't cruel. She wasn't confrontational. She just didn't take anyone's nonsense. And right now, Kayla had no idea how to handle that. She looked back at me, her voice a little breathless. James, what is this? What the hell is going on? I leaned back in my chair, folding my hands on the table. It's exactly what it looks like, Kayla. Sophia and I are together. Her hands clenched into fists. Since when? I glanced at Sophia, who shrugged. A few years now, I said, keeping my tone casual. Like this wasn't the most satisfying moment of my life. Kayla's mouth opened, then shut. She looked between us, struggling to form words. She didn't see this coming. Not at all. And that's what made it so satisfying. I could practically hear the thoughts racing through her head. She had assumed I would always be there, waiting in the background, holding on to some foolish hope that she'd come back. She thought she could just return when she was ready, snap her fingers, and I'd be right where she left me. But instead, she found me happy, moved on, with her own sister. She inhaled sharply, composing herself. All right, she said, forcing a laugh. I get it. You're trying to get back at me. That's what this is, right? Some twisted little revenge plan. Sophia rolled her eyes. Oh my God, Kayla. Not everything is about you. Kayla ignored her and took a step closer to me. James, come on. This isn't real. You're just trying to make me jealous. I gave her a slow, deliberate smile. Is it working? She flinched, and I knew right then that she was jealous. But instead of admitting it, she shook her head. You can't be serious. You're dating my sister? That's God. That's so messed up. Sophia let out a soft laugh. You know what's really messed up, Kayla? The fact that you walked out on James, acted like he was beneath you, and now that you see he's successful and happy, you suddenly have a problem with it. Kayla whipped around to face her. I don't have a problem. Oh, please. Sophia cut her off. You do. It's all over your face. You thought he'd just wait for you forever, didn't you? Kayla's face burned red. That's not. You did. Sophia continued, voice sharper now. You thought you could run off, chase your fantasy, and when you got bored, James would still be sitting around, miserable, waiting for you to come back. But he didn't. And now you can't stand it. Kayla's jaw tightened. She turned back to me, her voice softer now. James, we had years together. What we had was real. You can't just throw that away. I tilted my head. Did you think about that when you walked out on me? Her lips parted slightly, but she had no answer. I let the silence stretch before adding. You were so sure I'd always love you. So sure I'd always be waiting. But here's the thing, Kayla. I did love you. I was waiting. For a while. And then I realized something. She swallowed hard. What? I leaned forward, my voice calm but firm. That you weren't worth waiting for. The words hit her like a slap. Her eyes widened, her breath caught, and for the first time since she walked up to our table, she looked genuinely lost. I stood up, adjusting my jacket. Come on, Sophia. Let's go somewhere where we don't have to deal with the past trying to ruin our night. Sophia smiled, taking my hand as she rose from her seat. Kayla just stood there, speechless, as we walked right past her. And I didn't look back. But I knew. This wasn't over yet. Kayla had just realized she lost, and something told me she wasn't the type to accept that easily. She thought she could come back and pick up where we left off. She had no idea how wrong she was. A few days passed, and I didn't think much about Kayla. As far as I was concerned, that chapter of my life was closed. She had made her choice, and she was living with the consequences. But then she showed up at my office. I was in the middle of a meeting when my assistant knocked on the door, looking a little uneasy. Sir, There's a woman here to see you. She says it's urgent. I already knew who it was before she even said the name. Kayla. I sighed, running a hand over my face. Tell her I'm busy. She said she won't leave until she talks to you. My assistant added hesitantly. I could have had security throw her out. I should have, but a part of me was curious. I wanted to see what she had to say now that she realized she couldn't just walk back into my life like nothing had happened. Send her in, I said. A minute later, Kayla walked through the door. She had changed from the last time I saw her. The confidence she usually carried, the arrogance, was gone. She looked nervous, maybe even a little desperate. James, she breathed, closing the door behind her. Please, just give me 5 minutes. I leaned back in my chair, folding my arms. You've got 3. She flinched at the coldness in my voice, but quickly regained her composure. I wanted to talk. Just us. No drama. No fighting. I raised an eyebrow. No fighting. Kayla, you chose to leave. You made it very clear that I wasn't enough for you. And now, after all these years, you suddenly want to talk? Why? She exhaled slowly, gripping the chair in front of my desk. Because I made a mistake, James. A huge one. I said nothing, just watching her. She licked her lips nervously before continuing. I thought I wanted something more. I thought if I left, I'd find some exciting, glamorous life. But I was wrong. The guys I dated, they didn't care about me. They only cared about what I looked like, about what I could do for them. And Ryan, God, I don't even want to talk about him. He turned out to be a complete mess. I smirked. Really? You don't say? She shot me a pained look. James, I should have never left you. I was selfish, I was stupid, and I ruined everything. I leaned forward, resting my elbows on the desk. You did ruin everything, Kayla. And now what? You expect me to forget it all? To take you back like nothing happened? Her eyes filled with something close to panic. No, I just thought maybe we could start over. I let out a low laugh. Start over? Kayla, I'm engaged to your sister. She winced, as if she had been physically hit. I know, she whispered. But James, do you really love her? That made me pause. Not because I doubted my love for Sophia, I didn't. But because Kayla actually had the nerve to ask me that. I tilted my head. You think you have the right to question that? She shook her head quickly. No, that's not what I meant. I know our history. We had years together. I know you, James. I know how much you loved me. I can't believe that's all gone. I exhaled slowly, standing up and walking around the desk until I was standing right in front of her. You're right about one thing, Kayla. I did love you, with everything I had. I would have done anything for you. But you took that love and threw it away like it meant nothing. Her lower lip trembled slightly, and for the first time I saw it, the regret. The real regret. James, she whispered. Please. I shook my head. It's over, Kayla. It's been over for a long time. You're just now realizing it. She swallowed hard, blinking rapidly. So that's it. I don't even get a second chance. I let out a slow, deliberate breath before delivering the final blow. You didn't just lose me, Kayla. You lost the life we could have had. And now, you have to live with that. Silence. And then she did something I wasn't expecting. She reached out, grabbing my wrist gently. James, if you ever feel like you made a mistake, if you ever think maybe, just maybe, you're not happy with her, I'll be here. I pulled my hand away, my expression unreadable. You'll be waiting for me? I asked, voice low. She nodded, her eyes pleading. I gave her a slow, almost pitying smile. Well, Kayla, I said, stepping back. I'm not you. I don't wait for people who walk away. And with that, I turned my back on her. She left a minute later, and I didn't watch her go. I didn't need to, because for the first time in her life, Kayla was the one waiting. A week passed, and I thought that was the end of it. Kayla had tried. She had walked back into my life, expecting things to go her way, thinking she could just say a few words, shed a few tears, and I would forget everything she had done. That I would drop everything, including Sophia, and run back to her. She was wrong. I had moved on. I had won. But Kayla? She wasn't ready to accept that. I should have known she wouldn't go down quietly. Started with little things. Random texts at odd hours. James, can we just talk? Calls that I ignored. Then came the messages through mutual friends, people reaching out to say she had been asking about me, telling them how much she regretted everything, how she wished she could undo the past. I ignored all of it. But then, she did something that made it impossible to ignore. She went to Sophia. I was out of town on a business trip when Sophia called me. Her voice tense. James, We need to talk. Kayla showed up at my place. I stopped what I was doing immediately. She what? She came to see me? Sophia repeated, her voice calm but tight. She said she wanted to clear the air. I clenched my jaw. And Sophia sighed. She told me you're still in love with her. Silence. She what? I finally said, my voice low. Yeah, Sophia said, her voice laced with irritation. She said that no matter what you say, she knows you still have feelings for her. That deep down, you're only with me because you couldn't have her. My grip on my phone tightened. Sophia, you know that's not true. She let out a small laugh. Oh, trust me, I know. Do you think I actually believed her? Please. I just thought you should know how desperate she's getting. I exhaled, rubbing a hand over my face. Did she say anything else? Yeah, Sophia said. She actually had the audacity to tell me that if I really loved you, I should step aside. That if I cared about your happiness, I should let you go so you could figure out what you really want. I felt my blood pressure spike. She said that. Yep, Sophia replied. So I laughed in her face and told her to get lost. That made me smile, despite my frustration. God, I love you. Sophia's voice softened. I know. And that's why none of this bothers me, James. Because I trust you. Kayla doesn't scare me. She's just sad and bitter, trying to convince herself that you still belong to her. But you don't. You're mine now. And I'm not letting her rewrite the story just because she doesn't like how it ended. I closed my eyes, exhaling slowly. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. Damn right I am. Sophia teased. So, what do you want to do about Kayla? I thought about it for a second. Then I said, nothing. Sophia paused. Nothing? Yeah, I said, a slow smile creeping onto my face. Let her sit with it. Let her live with the fact that she lost. That no matter what she says, no matter what she tries, I'm never going back. She left me once. And now, she's the one who has to watch me walk away. Sophia hummed thoughtfully. You know what? I like that. Good. I said. Now, forget about Kayla. When I get back from this trip, we're going to focus on us. Our wedding, our future, everything that actually matters. Sophia smiled through the phone. I love you, James. I love you too. I said. And I meant every word. Because that was the real ending of this story. Not Kayla. Not the past. But us. And she would just have to live with that. And that's the end of this story. But tell me, what would you do if your ex tried to come back after realizing she made a mistake? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more.